on now? What up, world? What up, world? Excuse me. What's going on, Coop? How you doing today?
What up with you? How are you?
I'm good, man. Another New Music Friday. Got a lot to talk about today. We again on a Friday we got some new music, man. I was really impressed with Big Sean and Hit Boy coming through with the EP that we were surprised even was coming out because everybody was kind of looking forward to the Jay Z, Jadakiss, and Conway the Machine collaboration. And we
Right.
didn't hear anything about the Big Sean and Hit Boy. We're gonna get to all of that while we welcome everybody into the room. Man, I got a few notes today too, man. Like
Oh, you got
I'm
notes?
looking at I'm looking at us talking about King Kong Rhythm, Guns Go Bang, what
Hmm.
Jay Z sounds like in 2021.
Right.
Because he's done a significant amount of output, and the year is shit. We're almost in November, so we can actually make an assessment of that. What do we think about the Big Sean and Hit Boy record?
Hmm.
I do want, we've been requested to talk about Jay Z's, I'm not Jay Z, Drake saying that Eminem is, what was it, underappreciated, and what underappreciated means in that aspect. And we kind of had a surprise mock verses that we may or may not get to, but we should be able to get to it, man. Shout out to everybody coming in the room. Tell everybody we going live right now. We're gonna talk about this record. First off, man, like, what
Where are we
was your?
starting?
Go ahead.
How about no? I was just asking. Where are we starting?
I want to start. I mean, I think we should start with King Kong Rhythm, man. I think that's the perfect place to start because I know we spoke about it on Wednesday and what our predictions were. I think you and I both said that Conway would probably have the best verse. I think he does. What say you?
First, I want to say subscribe to our page. You forgot to tell
Yeah,
people to
subscribe to
subscribe
the
to the
According to
page.
Hip Hop channel. Hit the bell notification to know when we going live so we don't, sneak attack you and you be like, damn, I missed the live. So.
Yeah, go Atlanta Braves. If you're here from out of town rooting for Houston, fuck your team. The Conway verse is the best verse
Yeah.
on the song by far. By far. You
Okay.
want me to tell you? You want me to tell the people what I told you when we talked about it? I was like, it sounds like Jada Kiss literally mailed the verse in, as in like emailed it to them, and
Right.
also like mailed it in, as in like didn't try that hard.
Is that where
Jay's
you're at?
verse,
Go ahead.
Jay's verse sounds like he listened to Kiss and Conway's verse and tried as hard as he could, and it still doesn't come off too much better than Kiss's verse, and definitely not on the level of Conway's verse.
This is
The
where I'm
beat's
at
just
with it.
okay. The beat actually some mid.
Yeah, I listen. The beat, I get it, because it's for the soundtrack of this. I guess it's a Western, African American Western
That right.
theme or whatnot, Black American Western theme. So I guess that's where they were trying to go with it. This is what I'll say about Jay Z in 2021. And I know we're gonna get further into this. I listened to both songs that he's on this soundtrack before we got on air, just to have it fresh in my mind, right? Jay's at
Right.
that stage now, man. It's like, remember me, remember what I did. I know we were talking about Nas being a nostalgic MC, but he's a nostalgic MC in a different sense, and he's always been that. Illmatic's a nostalgic album about his childhood, and he's been able to continuously take you back to those places. But with Jay Z's nostalgia rap, he's always been so current throughout his career. And now to hear him get to that stage where it's like, hey, remember when we used to do this? Or remember I used to do this? I used to be this. And it's like, mm, you're rhyming right next to Conway, who is current. And he's talking about what he's doing now. And it's a big difference. It's a big difference, especially like I said, when you're talking about somebody like Jay Z. We fell in love with his craft based on him being so current, and he might make reference to what he used to do, but now it's like it's all of that, and it's really kind of unfulfilling. It's kind of heard it all before type thing, and like he said on to the next one. Want the old hoe, buy my old albums type of thing. Like, nigga, you're not really gonna impress us with your old shit in the ways that your old shit did. So with that being said, it's like it comes off as very uninspired. Very uninspired, and I probably won't even listen to it again. And that's crazy to say when you got a record with Jadakiss, Conway, and Jay-Z on it. I don't even think, and with all that I just said about Jay, I think Jadakiss has the most disappointing verse on there because he's the one that we praise for being consistent on these collaborations.
No. I agree because usually on something like this, he usually delivers. Like no matter what, even if it's not the best verse, you never feel like, oh no, Kiss doesn't have a dope verse on there.
This is one of his worst features that I can remember. And I'm not trying to be, extreme on this, but
No, Mike, you're correct. It's one of the more lackluster performances by him that I can think of in recent memory, as far as a feature is concerned. And so, Conway definitely took this moment from the two vets who he's looked up to, and it's just his time. And that's what I really heard on that record. I didn't hear the beat. I didn't hear Kiss and Jay's verse so much. I heard that Conway is, still having a moment.
Yeah. Let me go to the chat real quick and let us know what y'all think about the records. You know what I'm saying? We might be tripping. Who knows? P. White says, Big Coop is my guy. Too funny and spits facts. Solution, gentlemen. Yeah. Shannon Williams says, what up, fellas? Spencer Overtone says, the song is trash. Shyster 30 says, what up, guys? Shannon Williams says, Jay-Z verse was garbage, Conway verse was average, and Kiss verse was the better because he stayed on the jungle theme. That's an interesting take. I say Kiss, Conway, then Jay. Shannon Williams also says the song's definitely garbage. P. White says trash. Unknown Name says both songs were ass. Well, I guess Unknown Name's not Jay-Z then. Real talk. This is why LL would be a formidable opponent. Listen, there was a lot to take in there, and I will say this, and you're right, it does sound like Jadakiss mailed it in. Sounds like Jadakiss was told what this movie was about, and probably tried to make a creative writer's choice to stay on theme.
He can execute better still would be my rebuttal to that and that's a valid assertion, but he can still do better. This is Kiss we talking about.
He sounded tired. He sounded like, I did this. It sounded like he just finished doing a show and went to the studio and recorded this verse at 4 a.m. in the morning. It didn't sound too energized. I don't know.
I was thinking the reverse, or he woke up early and came and did it at like 6, 7 in the morning before he had to get prepped for a show.
You might be right. You might be right. Morning voice is the worst. That's why they tell
morning voice is the worst.
That's why they tell you don't record in the morning.
You shouldn't record before noon. No.
No, that's real. That's why everybody has late nights in the studio, because no one records in the morning. Your voice ain't ready yet. That might be a very valid assertion. It did sound like he was rhyming on some morning voice. I mean, with those three guys on the record, I definitely expect a better beat. Now, I will say that. And everybody in the chat is basically saying that the beat was trash. I didn't like the beat, but I understand that they were going for a certain theme, because I think I asked you before we went on if you listened to the whole soundtrack. I didn't either. I listened to the song CeeLo, and I could tell that there is a sonic theme that they're going for. So probably that's why the beat sounded the way it did. But it didn't do anything for the three MCs that were on it. But you could tell Conway seized the moment. He even talked about the fact that his spit game got the legends,
getting off in their bag again, which is correct. He's saying it on the right record, because he's saying it with two of the legends.
Yeah, and he had the best verse.
That's what I mean. Yeah, he has the best verse.
What did you think about the song with Kid Cudi, Guns Go Bang, the Kid Cudi and Jay-Z record?
Okay, so I guess unlike a lot of people in the track, I don't think the Conway, Kiss, and Jay song is complete trash. Like I said, like it's not some mid, but it's definitely not no fire either, and far from it. And I'm like you, I probably won't listen to it again because it's like I got so many dope Kiss verses and Conway verses from the last couple of years to go off of. It ain't like I need to go to it for their parts.
Yeah.
Jay was unimpressive, and uninspired. The Cuddy song, it was more of the same. That was some mid. That was some mid. I was like, what is this? And then you didn't get a second verse. I kept waiting for the second verse. I'm like, oh, so we're not getting the second verse.
Yeah, I mean, even the song structure, like you said,
I was
the way
Mike, thank you, Mike. And then I was like, well, then what's the song structure on this built like? Like y'all like if you want to get creative with it and run it like that, like the song need to be dope.
well, see, the thing is, when you talk about creativity and creative license, that award goes to Kanye West, you know, in relation to him and Jay-Z. I mean, that's what separates them two as, you know, artists. I mean, Jay is the more lyricist of the two, where Kanye's more of the creative. If he were on that song with Kid Cudi, I think that would have been guided very differently. But yeah, song structure. When I heard Jay come in, when he came in, I just assumed there was another verse coming. You know, if he was gonna do one verse, I would think it would be at the very beginning and then at the very end. Um, the thing is, though, we know Jay comes with rhymes like this, right? And the fact that this is his film, or a film that, you know, he's doing a lot of promo for, he really has, you know, boots on the ground, getting the awareness out for this Netflix film. I figured that he would really come through with at least two verses. And if Jay comes with one verse, you expect that verse to be crazy. He came with 116 and it was like not memorable.
Okay.
Again, the fact
It
that
was
I'm
just
not
like,
gonna
okay.
go back and listen to, you know, this 116, it's like, whoa.
It sounds like all the other verses we've heard from him this year. It sounds like, I mean, Mike, I mean, would you be excited? Like, let's say a week from now, you know, we get word that he's about to drop a project. Would you be excited or would you be more afraid?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say it right here on, you know, what is it, October 29th, 2021. At this rate, I don't want to hear another Jay-Z album. I don't. I
It
don't.
seems crazy to say.
Yeah, I don't. You know, at least like I said, at this rate. I'm not saying that there couldn't be like a couple of songs that, you know, come along the way where I'm like, okay, yeah, Jay coming or whatever. But like you said, just based on what we've been hearing from him this year, from I'm Sorry Not Sorry, to the Drake records he's been on, to Jail with Kanye, to these two records, I don't really like what's building up. I think one of the big problems that we're gonna have with the next Jay record is the fact that it's following 444, and so we don't really know what to expect. And the gift and the curse about 444 is the fact that it was highly regarded, right? It was highly regarded, and I
I
didn't.
don't know why. I don't know why.
I think he would be better off if it wasn't highly regarded, and
Oh,
he could
yes, he would.
actually, you know what I'm saying,
Dear
come with
Lord.
one of those Electric Circus B moments. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like the fact that 444 was highly regarded
Who, who
puts.
who was saying this, Mike? Who was saying this?
I mean, the fans out here love it. People
Like the
love
media
444.
publications that give like Peppa the Pig higher ratings than like rap
I mean,
albums that are
listen,
like classic.
Maurice actually wrote the review for 444 on According to Hip Hop, and he wrote an incredible review. People loved it. He rated it very high. I think the sentiment of 444, and I think that the back layered soundtrack that No ID provided for it made it very highly regarded. We never saw Jay really get that vulnerable about certain subjects and be real with it. I mean, all the way down to him talking about his mom and her sexuality and all those things. I don't think this was more of a skilled thing when it comes to 444's highly regardedness. I think it's the fact that he is who he is as an as a hip hop icon, and he was revealing certain things that weren't revealed before. But see, I think I like Jay-Z for different reasons. So that's
It just
probably
wasn't
why I
dope,
didn't.
Mike. It just wasn't dope. Like all that, it just wasn't
No, I
dope.
hear you, and the reason, yeah, you're right.
Period.
Yeah, I mean, we could sit here and we can
Like
pick it
like
apart. But yeah, is it
sub.
dope or is it not?
Hold on, Mike. Mike, subject matter a great album doesn't make. If that was the case, every Rakim or Nas or Black Thought album would be considered a classic.
What do y'all
Like,
think about 444 in the chat? Are we just talking out our ass, man, or is 444 really a dope album? And do y'all still listen to it heavy? Because again, I think that puts him in a backward position in the fact that people loved it. It was highly regarded. So now, where do you go? Where does Jay Z
snore,
go
snore,
with on the
snore.
next album? Does he do more of the same? Because you can only do
Oh,
444 once. Because a lot of that momentum was the fact that it went, kind of rivaled Lemonade and that whole storyline or whatever that people get into when, they fall in love with people's personal lives. But outside of that, what is he gonna do I mean, you can't do that twice. Jonathan Coleman says 444 is dope. Okay. Let's see. We got more people in here. Killamon TV says, but the 444 beat was way dope. Jay-Z wanted to just talk to people on a different tip, and it was dope as hell. I feel like Jay-Z has maintained his dopeness. Okay. Unknown Name says Jay no longer has anything interesting to say. 444 was highly regarded for gossip aspect. Solange throwing hands on him in the elevator had more to do with that than the actual album. I think that's an interesting assessment. DeCarlo says 444 was a mid. DJ Diverse says I loved 444. Miss
it
Amina says
was
444 had
some
a condescending tone
movie.
at times. Making Noise says 444 didn't hit like the others because No ID did all the beats. He's not good for a whole album. Okay, I think there's mixed reviews all around here.
No, hold on. So I'm gonna be actually with him a little bit on that. I wouldn't
Yeah.
choose No ID's production for an entire album straight through. There is something to that because it's not just Jay that I don't love about that album. It's the production that I don't love either. And overall, I love and appreciate No ID as a producer.
And we have 44 people in the room. TC Carr says 444 was
That's
nice.
very problematic, Mike.
That's crazy. Making Noise says 444 was not memorable. Okay, you guys can keep giving your input. I want to know what songs on 444 you guys feel like would actually even be on a Jay-Z's greatest hits or anything close to it. You know what I mean? Or something you
Mike,
still listen to.
Mike, there's nothing on 444 that would make the C side. As in, like the A and the B side could be full, and you would fill up the C side, and there still wouldn't be a 444 track on there.
All right,
Stop
let's
that.
just say as a hip hop listener and a hip hop fan and as a Jay-Z fan, say you're Jay-Z. What's the next album's direction? What are we doing? What are we doing, Jay?
It's a fascinating question because I think rap is the craft where a lot of the art that you speak out is the imitation of your life or the life of those around you and the things that are going on around you. And I think that's what we get to when we talk about it being uninspired and unimaginative. Well, it's like, when we met Jay, it's like, he was practically a millionaire if he wasn't a millionaire. And now he's like a billionaire practically. And so it's like a lot of the money talk, it rings a little more hollow than it used to because before you kind of got with the hustler ambition because he didn't have $1 billion yet. And you could see him having the hustle and the ambition, like, yo, this dude trying to go get a couple $1 billion, and you were with it, but now he's there.
Yeah.
But when you get there, it kind of loses steam, Mike.
You're
chilling
right.
on a
It's
boat
something to be
somewhere
said
with
about being at
B.
the finish line.
You're
And it's
chilling
like,
on a boat somewhere with B, Mike. It's like you at the, what did he say on Already Home? I'm in the hall already, on the wall already.
this
I'm
ain't
a work of
sports,
art. I'm a
man.
war hall already.
Like, this ain't sports. Like, you can sit there
Niggas
and look
compare
at,
me to Biggie and Pac already.
you can look at Tom Brady and
Already.
say, yo, why is he still out here? He
That's
still
what
wants
I'm
to.
saying. He was talking his own shit almost 10 years ago. Like, yeah, I'm already home.
like I said, this music thing is a lot different than like sports. Like Tom Brady has pretty much all the records, right? And he likes to compete, and he's still playing at a high level. And one would say like, why is he still out here? And I think the answer is he still thinks he can win, and he still thinks he can play at a high level. Now,
Mike,
as an MC, can Jay say he's still at the top of his game?
Mike. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You want to know why Tom Brady's still playing? Because he won rings in his 20s, and then he won rings in his 30s, and
Now
then
it's
he
time to
won
win.
rings in his 40s, as in plural when I say each decade.
Did you see? I don't want to get too far off course here. Shout out to everybody coming in the room. Keep coming in. Did you see that Laker game the other night when the young Thunder came back from 26 down?
Mike, that was very problematic.
That's what I'm talking about here. These young cats.
That was
And
problematic.
see, again, we talking about hip hop or whatever. If you're not focused and you're out here leaning on your legacy, they don't care what Westbrook has done. They don't care what Anthony Davis has done. They're ready to run you
Carmelo,
off the court.
Rondo,
Carmelo,
White,
yes. Yeah. They don't care
Snatch.
what you've done. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Fuck your team, Mike. Fuck these kids are like fuck your team.
Yeah, like I grew up watching you. Cool. Time to run you off the court.
Look, Mike. Ja Morant came into this league talking trash to James Harden on his first game. Like, yeah,
As you
fuck you, nigga.
should.
I'm about to run you off the court.
As you
Old
should, man. Like,
Grandpa, calling James Harden
because
grandpa. I'm about
the
to run
funny
you off
part,
the court, man.
funny part about this, especially in rap, man. And again, I don't want to get too far off course. We sit here and act like the people that were running things in the '90s were showing love to the MCs in the '80s. They weren't. Who was Biggie putting Kane on the record?
Mike,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nas jumped on Cool G Rap's album
Oh, yeah.
456, and they did a video together. That's the only one of
Yes.
those dudes that showed them old dudes love is when Nas jumped on
Yeah.
G Rap shit for 456.
yeah,
Which is
no,
a great song. That's a classic rap song. G Rap and Nas doing a back and forth.
real
No, he
shit.
showed him love, but that was it.
Yeah. I mean, Rap Life too, dope record. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it wasn't a lot of that. Like, it wasn't a lot of cats that was on top of their game making records with KRS. And I think Jay is one of those guys that, when he had it, he took it and went for it and didn't look back.
Right.
I think Jaz-O might have been the only one that he reached back, but it's not like Kane is on a Jay album. It's not like
No.
Kane is on Volume 2. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't even reach back, Mike. He was about to sign Jaz-O. Jaz-O was on that record because he thought the contract with Jaz-O was about to go down too.
Yeah.
You
And
feel me? So that was to promote Jaz-O. And then it speaks to the fact it's like, yo, why we gotta hear Kane on Big L's album after Big L is passed when you got a straight line to Kane? Like, Jay had the opportunity to put Kane on plenty of records.
yeah, they never did
Then
that.
Kane took Jay on his first tour, correct?
Yeah. And again, I ain't got no problem with that. But my thing is like they want to act like the current generation's the only ones that ain't looking back. You know what I'm saying? Like people in the '90s wasn't putting Melly Mel on records. They weren't.
Mike, Jay is the captain of Fuck Your Team.
Yeah.
he is the one. Like he is the one steering the ship.
Yeah, because while Juvenile was hot, Jay worked with Juvie. You think Juvenile can get in touch with Jay for a feature now or whatever? Come on, man. I mean, it is what it is, and that's fine. But when it goes like that, then the young cats are gonna have the same mentality. And when you on the track, they're not waiting for you to catch your breath. They're gonna come through like a whirlwind. And I think that's the point where Jay is in his career. Like, do you think? Because I know he's really current, right? That's the other part I would ask you about Jay coming out with a record. Who's going to feature on there? Who do you think at this point that's really, really popping in their own right now would even sound right on a Jay record, on a Jay album, and it would make sense?
I mean, his roster is going to have to come through for him, so Benny and Electronica come to mind immediately.
Okay, I'm talking about hit stuff. If we talking about like he's trying to come for something that, like how he was able to do with Ross on "Fuck With Me, You Know I Got It," As quality as Ross is, a Ross feature is not gonna get you spins like it was getting in 2013. Neither is a Jeezy one because he used Jeezy on Blueprint 3.
So that's the problem when you make music in the style and in the vein that he has made music. As you get older in this game, it makes it hard for you to drop just a quality album of content filled material that people can appreciate. Because here's what I mean, is like, well, you haven't dropped any Made You Looks, really, or stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? Like
No,
most
I
of your
get you.
stuff
I
is being.
think if I had to say, not to interrupt you, if I had to say that
Oh,
he
go ahead.
had one of those, I would say it's the Rock Boys. And I think that's why everybody really connects with American Gangster because I felt like American Gangster was going somewhere where it could have taken Jay to that next level creatively in his age. But then the Blueprint 3 kind of dialed it back. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so and you're right about American Gangster, but here's what I would say, like, and this is what I mean about the stuff from 444 wouldn't make his C list. Like most of his A and B list, you gonna find most of it on Reasonable Doubt in Volume One and pieces of Volume Two and Three. The C list is the stuff that's on the Blueprint 3 and American Gangster.
I
You feel what
disagree
I'm
with you
saying?
on that. I know you're
Yeah,
really heavy on Volume One. I think
it gets better, Mike. There's nothing there,
Empire
Mike.
State of
There's
Mind's a big one,
Mike,
man. Empire State of
Mike.
Mind and DOA
There,
are big ones.
no, and those are big. And don't get me wrong, but there's nothing. I'm not a fan of Empire State of Mind like everybody else is.
It's a big record.
Who
It's a dope record. He's spitting on there too. I mean, we got to give him credit for that.
he is, but that's what I mean when I thought about these records. It's like, well, how classic and iconic are those records to you? Because that's what I mean. Is like, you can't tell me that that record is better than Streets is Watching or Imaginary Player or Where I'm
But we're
From, because
talking
it's
about
not.
two different things here. If we're talking
No,
about
I mean,
radio,
but if we're
Jay,
rating, like, how
no,
about
because
this? You know,
I would say
like,
the DOA and Kingdom Come, the song. Yes, I will put it in the vein of those things. Like DOA is hard. I'll give DOA that. But if we're talking about his radio records, like Run This
oh, I mean,
Town is just as good, if not better, than a Money Cash Hoes.
okay, so when you say that, it's like, yeah. So I mean, we'll talk about it in a minute because it's like when I look at those records though, and this is what I mean. Well, Run This Town, the highlight of the record is really Ye's verse and Rihanna's hook and
The
that
beat is a
beat.
highlight too.
And the beat, no, Mike, I was going to the beat, like the three highlights. So if we're running things off in order about Run This Town, and this is what I mean, it's just like a C-list record for him, even though it might be an A-list hit. It's like, well, he's not really the highlight of that song. That beat is stupid. Rihanna's crazy on there. Ye is somewhere else on there. That's one of Ye's 10 best verses.
Mm. How do you feel about DOA though?
I mean, it's dope. You're more of a fan of that record than I am,
I
Mike.
like,
Like,
I
it's
think I
dope.
love the approach, right? I think that
It's
that was
dope.
one of the times
It's
where
good
with the
rap
first
music.
single he made a statement, and you know what I'm saying, the video, once again he was going in this whole direction where it was like it was a bossing up hip hop thing, and nobody does it in that way like Jay, right? That's his whole lane. That's why Reasonable Doubt even has the aesthetic value that it has, image wise and everything, because of that whole bossed up approach. And I think he was able to find that lane later on in his career. But like you said, now Dreadhead Jay is it's undefined at this point.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying, even too about like Run This Town and DOA.
Hmm.
If he was doing a verses, he wouldn't do either one of those songs because you wouldn't really want to run any of those verses from his songs. He's got better verses on other hits. That's what makes it C level to me. Even though the song is A list, there are other things about those tracks that make it A list.
Well,
Like Empire
somebody in the
State of
chat
Mind to me,
mentioned your
like Empire
song.
State of Mind to me is like overrated. It's just Jay and Alicia Keys on a record talking about New York, but it's like nothing like epic. Like I wouldn't consider that song to be like it's
It's
not.
an anthem. We gotta give
No, no,
it
no.
that,
I
man.
mean,
It's
no,
an
no, no. I
anthem.
mean, I get it, but it's like it's an anthem because it's Jay and Alicia Keys talking about New York. Like,
Well, you know what? And I
I
give
prefer
props
the New
to.
York record by Mike. I prefer the New York record by Rakim that DJ Premier produced. That's on the 18th
Of
letter over
course you
that record.
do.
If we're talking about a record like repping New York, there's so many records repping New York.
Of
That's an
course you
anthem
do.
to people. No, what I'm trying to express to you is that there are so many MCs from New York that have made anthems for New York. That song is an anthem to people because of who put it together, not because of the quality of the song. No.
I don't know, man. I disagree with you because
That's
I think
fine.
the
You
chorus
can
is
keep on liking that
infectious.
shit if you want to.
No, I think the chorus is yeah. Andrew says Empire State is amazing. I think the chorus is infectious, and I don't even like Alicia Keys' voice. I think Alicia
You
Keys.
don't, Mike. You
I
hate
no no
on
no no.
Alicia
Let me
Keys a
finish.
lot.
I think Alicia Keys is the most overrated singer probably of the past 30 years. But she
Why?
sounds great on that song, and I give credit where credit's due. So I mean, her being on
Mike, we
it
don't like
no,
Mike, hold
her
on.
being
Just
on it
hold on.
has nothing to do with me liking it. I'm just letting you know, like I like the song. It could have been damn Mary J. Blige singing that same hook. That shit was dope.
Mike,
Andrew
how about
says
this?
Coop is hating.
Mike.
Yes, Coop is hating. What's going on?
No, Mike, I was actually about to say feeling it's better than Empire State of
No,
Mind to
it's
me. Do you
not.
feel me?
No, it's not.
Like, but that's how I feel. I think feeling it's a better song than Empire State of Mind.
How? How do
It
you
just
feel
feels
that way?
better. It feels more like Jay. It doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like he's trying to get with a particular person to make your particular type of song to get a particular amount of spins. It doesn't feel like the machine. It feels like Hove. Fuck you mean? What am I talking about? Y'all
I
talking about the
disagree with
machine,
you.
and I'm talking about Jay, and y'all asking me what I'm talking about on according to hip hop. Y'all wild.
I listen. I think that it's a dope song. It didn't feel forced to me.
I didn't say it wasn't dope. I said it's overrated. As in, like, y'all treat it like it's like this, all-time great New York anthem. I'm like, no, it's a dope record.
Mandan says Alicia Keys is a better singer than Beyonce. Stop that.
Mike.
Beyonce at least sings in tune. Come
this
on,
is so
man.
convoluted. How about this? Beyonce is a better singer than
Of
Alicia
course she
Keys.
is.
But I personally think that the Diary of Alicia Keys is better than any product Beyonce's ever put out from beginning to end. If we're just talking about quality of album from
Well,
beginning to
let me
end.
be perfectly clear. I think on the first two albums, Alicia Keys is a good singer. I don't know what happened
so
after
Mike,
the
I was
second
actually
album.
about to
Her
ask you
voice is
specifically
gone.
about the first two albums. It's like you
No.
don't like the Diary of Alicia Keys, Mike?
No, I like those first two albums. I actually bought them.
Okay,
You know what I'm
Songs in a
saying?
Minor. Yeah, Songs in a Minor, where she took the
Yeah.
the ODB shit with Girlfriend.
Yeah,
And
dope.
Jermaine Dupri produced
Again,
it.
that's
It's
when
another
she
JD hit,
wasn't
Mike.
singing.
It's another JD hit on there that's
There's
a
another
problem.
JD hit. You know,
Another
she was
JD
singing
hit.
in tune back then. I don't know what happened after the
Here,
second
I'll
album,
let this
man.
nigga
Like,
say it.
no, I'm just being honest. It's crazy. I got a quick story.
But you tell me that.
I
and
used to
nigga-
keep
and
this
some
to
nigga got up on
myself.
this thread and said that I'm hating, and you talking about Alicia Keys really can't sing
No,
off the
real
second
shit,
album.
man. Like I used to keep it to myself because I thought
No,
I
wow.
was bugging. So I was in the department store with my homeboy and his
What are you
girlfriend,
doing?
and his girlfriend at the time, she was a songwriter for like Neo. So she was, I was in the studio all the time, right? And so an Alicia Keys song came on, and she was like, how do they let her sing out of tune like that? And I was like, yo, I thought it was just me. It wasn't. Alicia, listen, man, respectfully, I like those first two albums, but I think an Alicia Keys song came on.
This is very problematic.
I think it came on like, how you got like, shuffle going on, it's like a Pandora style type thing. No, it was on YouTube. I was just, around the house or whatever. Alicia Keys song came on and my ears start hurting. I had to switch the song, bro. I really did, man.
So I want to get this straight. You don't care for Alicia Keys as a singer. You don't care for Swiss as a producer. Am I getting all this together? I'm getting this correct, right?
Hey, man, don't try to put me in a box, man. I ain't got nothing against y'all out there, man. Everybody in the chat saying I'm crazy. They say,
Yeah,
Mike,
this nigga
stop.
very problematic. This is what I deal with too, y'all. Like people around Mike have to listen to this shit. I want y'all to understand this. All right.
All right, but anyway, man. But yeah, it's like I think with Jay's next album, I think a direction is a thing where it's like, where do I go? I mean, because you mentioned something earlier, and I wanted to piggyback off of that. I think Michael Jackson had a very similar issue in the fact that he couldn't just go out there and make a quality album. You know what I mean? Like Prince could. Prince could go out there and just put out a quality album. Everything that Michael Jackson had to do had to be was big. And Jay has set this platform, especially him just now becoming a billionaire, being the icon he is, the way he's talked, the hits that he has. He can't just go out there and put out a low key quality album. Like he set a standard for himself hit wise where he kind of has to follow those things up, and it kind of leaves the next album's direction. It makes it puzzling, you know. He can't just go out there and make a. I don't think he could go out there and just make an American Gangster right now. But even with American Gangster, you're still dealing with that same theme. Where it's like, okay, we've heard that before. Like, where does the next Jay album go? And he doesn't have like a Kanye creative license where Kanye set like an Outkast type tone where it's like you can just go out there and be creative and we'll accept it because we know that's how you do. You know what I mean?
Well, you see, that's the thing is that like Reasonable Doubt is like his current album. It's about the things that were really going on around him and the life he was living at that time. Everything after that is like a string of the life and times,
right.
Literally. As in, so it's the life and times as it's going on.
You're right.
And then he gets to the crew for a minute, and then it's the blueprint. And so it's like, I guess for me, I would say the Blueprint 4 would probably be the most likely route he should travel, because it should be a continuation of some sort of series if he's going to be nostalgic. And so it's either Blueprint 4 or Volume 5?
That would be cool if he went and did a Volume 4, I guess it would be.
I thought he did a Volume 4. Is it just up to Volume 3? I'm lost.
Yeah,
it's Volume 3?
It's just the Dynasty, yeah. So
yeah, so he should do a Volume 4 or a Blueprint 4 would be that would be my thought about that. Like,
what's the life and times of Sean Carter like today? Watching the kids and closing businesses, deals and whatnot?
Right, for real. Like, he should do Volume 4, and it should be like him and like Beyonce. The cover should be him and B on like the boat somewhere on some shit like we can't afford and we don't even know where they are and we can't see, and there's just like the water and like some majestic looking island shit behind them, because that's how he's always played his hand.
Yeah.
You feel me? He's always played his hand, even that he's bossier than he even really was at the time. You know what I'm saying?
You know, the
he's
other thing that's interesting about
that way.
You know what's interesting about Jay and his position too? Let's just say he wanted to go to socio-political route and talk about the things that are going on. But it's like, dude, with the access you have, you got Obama on the text and all this stuff. It's like, damn, we don't even want to hear that from you. Because it's
he's
like...
already done that. He's already home, Mike. What did he say on Already Home? He's already home.
Yeah, man. I just don't know what a new Jay-Z album would sound like. I mean, I barely even know what a new Kendrick Lamar album is going to sound like either, but we know we got that coming. So, but, you know, that's why they're the artists, and, you know, and they're the ones that have to figure that part of it out. I mean, do you think we're going to get a new Jay-Z album anytime soon?
I mean, the way he's been working, that's what it looks like.
Think he's kind of checking the temperature of like, okay, what are people thinking about this? What are people thinking about this? And kind of going from there.
He is.
He needs Kanye West. Let's just keep it real, man.
And I was about to say, you want to know what's crazy?
He needs Kanye West.
I mean, he doesn't need Kanye West.
Right now he
does need to find him a producer who he can vibe with, Mike, the way Nas did with Hit Boy. It doesn't have to be Kanye, because that's what Hit Boy kind of showed too. Is it's like, oh no, Nas doesn't have to go back to somebody that he already has a rapport with. Like, he doesn't have to go back to Salah Remy. He doesn't have to call Pete Rock. You don't have to call Primo. You don't got to call LES. You don't got to call Trackmasters even still do beats anymore. Like, he doesn't have to call any previous scene, like, you know, I mean, clientele. He needs to forge a relationship with somebody that's going to give him something that kind of makes his formula feel updated. But here's the problem with him. Like, because Nas has never been like a big hit, make you splash type of rapper outside of a couple of albums, he's able just to release quality hits like Car 85 and Replace Me. It doesn't have to be big. It can just be dope.
You know, P. White just mentioned something that I was about to mention. Said, and Just Blaze. I think if there was a Jay-Z,
back up with Just, I would like him teaming up with Just.
I was gonna say, if there was a Just Blaze and Jay-Z reunion, I think people would be interested in that. Most definitely. Because to me, I think Just Blaze is probably his strongest collaborator as a producer, and that's saying a lot. When you think about the best Jay records that epitomize what we know of as Jay as the MC and as the icon and the mogul, those are Just Blaze records. PSAs, the You Don't Knows, they're strong, that powerful music. I think they came with something together. I don't even know if I mean, I think him and Kanye are a great match as far as like Kanye being an executive producer and giving him direction. But when it comes to just beats and rhymes, it's tough to beat that Jay-Z and Just Blaze collaboration or combination.
No, Mike, you're right because in You Don't Know and PSA, those are two of Jay's 10 best records, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And no other producer can say, I think, that they have two of Jay's 10 best records in their catalog except for Just.
I think Song Cry is very highly regarded as well.
It's up there.
Yeah, they do really well together. I think that, to me, I think, damn it, what's wrong with me? I think Kanye got a couple in there though. I think that Heart of the City is one of Jay's strongest records.
I don't know if it's top 10 though. I know You Don't Know in PSA or top 10 records.
Yeah, that's definite. Heart of the City's up there, and I think This Can't Be Life has to be somewhere up there. It's very important.
It's important.
It's very important.
But even those records that we named are not better than PSA and You Don't Know.
You're right. You're right. And even as iconic as the work that Ski Beats has done with Jay, I don't see Jay working with Ski ever again. Anybody that he was working with in the 90s, I just don't see that happening again. I think a Just Blaze reunion, people would be very interested in. But as far as new producers, what new producers do you think Jay would actually even work with? Mike Wilmade or something? And he's not even new, but you know what I mean. People who aren't of his generation.
That's fascinating. I don't know because he has such a history of keeping it current. It's even like hard to put a list of his songs together because it's like, well, which era Jay hit record do you want to hear? It's like, oh, well, this is 97 Jay, this is 99 Jay, it's 2003. You know, It sounds like a year on it, and so it's like, well, Mike, who would you say the hottest producers are right now that are under, let's say, 30?
Metro Boomin is the guy.
So do you see that Metro came to my mind too? Like, do you see Metro doing something with Jay maybe?
Well, Mike Will was on Holy Grail, and it was interesting. It was only like a minute long. You remember that song? My Beach is Better.
I mean, this guy's a vet now too, Mike. But what do you think about Travis Scott maybe doing some stuff for Jay to maybe help Jay update?
I think you need Kanye to kind of pull that all together, to be honest.
You don't think Travis can pull it together?
I don't see Travis and Jay working. I don't.
I didn't see Hit Boy and Nas working, Mike.
I mean, Travis is a machine, man, and I fuck with Travis music heavy, like from the beginning. Okay, but I feel like there's a lot of people involved. You got Mike Dean involved. It's a lot of people involved, so it's not just Travis, you know.
So I mean, I'm bringing Travis up too because I think Travis and Hit Boy came out around the same time. Is that fair? Isn't that about right?
Well, that's about right. Yeah.
Right, and so
Hit Boy's before Travis, but yeah, similar,
Similar, it's comparable. Yeah. It's within a relative time frame.
Right.
One thing that you'll notice when Hit Boy works with Nas is that his beats sound different.
They do?
Because he knows that he's working with Nas, and what I'm saying is that Jay is the type of person that can have that same effect on Trav, where it's like, no, you're still gonna hear that like it's Trav, but it's probably gonna sound a little different because he's gonna be like, that's Jay. I gotta give him like my shit, but it gotta be like for Jay.
The difference is though, is Travis is an artist and he's having an incredible incredible career of his own. It's in the middle of his run. He's not gonna stop what he's doing and dedicate this part of his career to making Jay-Z something. I don't think him being a producer is that important to him over him being the artist.
Mike, it can only enhance his status. It cannot detract from it in whatsoever. Because if you really really want to know the truth, if he were to do that, he would really get credit for helping bring Jay back because 444 doesn't sound current. It sounds like his current life, but it don't sound like current hip hop. If he
I
were to
think the
get
days of
Jay updated, I mean, I'm throwing Travis out just because it's like I don't see
I got
anybody
you.
new as a producer that he could tap into that could craft out a whole sound album wise for him maybe better than I could see Travis doing. I could see Travis crafting a sound for an album for him.
I mean, everybody sounds great when they collaborate with Travis. Life the Poet says concept of giving the game to the younger generation. That's an interesting concept. I feel like he kind of did that on 444.
Mhm.
Um, but I think that the thing too is if Jay, knowing what his career has been like, he tried to give game to the younger generation in a certain way, it's gonna kind of come across as like, well, nigga, you did this. Let me have my fun. I don't know. Well, we're just gonna have to see. We could go on and on with this. I did want to segue on a production into this new Big Sean and Hit Boy album.
Right.
It was the EP. They dropped it at midnight. It's called what? What You Expect. 6 tracks. And man, what were your thoughts on it when you heard it?
It's dope.
I like it too.
It's good. He's spitting on there.
He's
Hit Boy
spitting and the production is there too.
it checks boxes, Mike. The production is there. Um, he's in his pocket. Content is good. The rhymes are there. It's a pretty impressive EP. I enjoyed it. I was surprised that I enjoyed it as much as I did, actually.
Because you're not heavy on Big Sean.
I'm not heavy on him. I'm not.
What's your thing with Big Sean? Because Big Sean be spitting, man.
I was thinking about this because I knew you were going to ask me this. It's just one of those things. He hasn't made the type of records that stick to my ribs, I like to say. You
So
know?
you feel about Big Sean, and not to put words in your mouth or anything, but kind of like how I feel about somebody like a Logic or something. You just don't feel him.
No, 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 no.
Okay.
Because it's not that I can't feel him, and it's not like I don't like records that he's made. Like Blessings is probably my favorite Big Sean single that he's released. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as something he's put out for mass consumption, that's probably my favorite record that stuck with me. But he just hasn't made the record that's made me an outright fan. I guess that's the best way of saying it. So it's like I like him, I respect him. I don't want to like detract from what he does in any sort of way because he definitely has had a good career, but he's just not my wave or my vibe, and he hasn't made a record that made me like start to feel different. Like I'll tell you the truth, Mike. Mike, I really didn't check for Wale that much.
Me
You know what I'm
too.
saying?
Now, you know what? I think that might be more of an accurate assessment. I think you feel about Big Sean like I feel about Wale.
Right.
And I like
So,
the
but
recent Wale album, by the way, for
but
people who didn't see that review.
yeah. No, the recent Wale is dope. The Lauren too. But I remember when I heard That Way with Ross, and I was like, you want to know what? I'm like, let me give him a little whirl and check out this album. And I became impressed by Ambition enough that it made me pick up The Gifted and start at least paying more attention to Wale. Like he kind of got me in with that record and got me in with Ambition. And because of that, it's like, even though I haven't been the biggest Wale fan, I do follow and watch all his projects. And when he drops something, I go listen. Big Sean hasn't done that to me yet with any project, is what I'm saying.
Big Sean has a very interesting career in the fact that he's been around giants pretty much the whole time. And what you said
No.
about Wale, and his feature, or just, you hear in a verse and be like, look, let me get into this more. I don't know if Big Sean's been on he's been on a lot of important records, but he's been on a lot of important records with giants, and it's like he hasn't had the opportunity to stand out amongst them, and maybe that's been a factor too. I know when we were
Okay.
talking about the Good Music Cypher not too long ago at the BET Awards. I mean, you still had Ye there, you still had Sahai there, and it's like he's consistently being overshadowed bar for bar, but he's spitting.
And that's what I mean when it's like, no, he's dope, and I don't want to detract from him because it's like, oh no, to get Kendrick Lamar and Jay Electronica on a track, you gotta be dope. To rhyme on a track with Pusha T and 2 Chainz and Kanye, no, you gotta be dope.
Yeah.
So just because you're not my thing doesn't mean you're not dope, but I'm gonna go to what you said, Mike, and this is what I mean. Well, he hasn't taken any of these moments and made me a fan. He doesn't have the best verse on Mercy. He doesn't have the best verse on Control. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when he's worked with Drake, Drake's usually done better. And so it's not like he doesn't belong in the room, but the guys that are usually considered to be better than him as MCs usually show it when he's paired next to them.
Man, DeCarlo brings up a good point too, and I think this goes for a lot of people in the current generation of MCing, and it continues to go on. He says it's his voice. That's why he doesn't stand out. I think
we talked about the voice.
And it's interesting, man. Like when you look at hip hop you start from the beginning, right? And let's just look at that whole phase of MCs from the 80s. They all had powerful voices, right? Like the Chuck D's of the world, the Ice Cubes, even Pop, and I know we're jumping into the 90s, but a voice was a big thing in hip hop. Rakim, you had to have a strong voice to be able to cut through everything that's going on in the hip hop record. And I feel like as time has gone on, we have MCs with lighter and lighter and lighter voices. And I think that even people who are critical of Kendrick Lamar and think that he's overrated, don't hold him high and all that stuff, I think a lot of that's because of Kendrick's voice.
Mike, I was actually about to say, I was about to bring up Kendrick when he brought up the voice thing with Sean, because I've heard people say that about Kendrick. Now, Mike, you made a very strong sentiment right there when you talked about the voices of rappers. So let's go down the list of some of the greatest rappers of all time from the 80s and the 90s, because you're going to find something. Mike, Slick Rick, most unique voice in rap history.
Yeah.
LL Cool J, strong, powerful voice.
Yeah.
Mike, Cool G Rap, strong, powerful voice and most unique lisp in the history of rap. Mike, Kane, strong, powerful voice with clarity. KRS, booming voice. Rakim, high, clear, nasal pitch voice that almost seems like it's piercing through a track. Mike, Nas, voice sounds like he is like literally like sewing a needle while he is rhyming. Biggie, heavy, big. Like Mike, he's literally like monstrous over a track with his voice. His voice is booming over the track, Mike.
Yeah. Even if we talk about Andre 3000,
Chuck D, Mike, Pac may have the most clearest and deepest rap voice ever. It's clear and it's deep.
Method Man,
Method Man, Mike. These guys have a depth and strength to their voice. Like when you hear them, that's part of what makes you feel them.
I mean, even Busta Rhymes, when he comes with the whole, I think that's one of the reasons why.
Voice.
I think that's one of the reasons why people feel like no one could see Busta in the verses, because his voice is just so intimidating, kind of like on some KRS shit. But it's interesting, man, that you mentioned KRS. I'm sitting here trying to picture KRS on the microphone and Kendrick on the microphone, and they're both going for it. It's like his voice dwarfs Kendrick. Period.
Right, so it's
who has a strong voice in this current, I don't want to say, I guess current crop of MCs, like people who've made a name for themselves over the past 10 to 15 years. Who has the best voice? Because look at DMX, man. Like when DMX came through, that voice. Power. Like hip hop voices were about power. Like you couldn't be an MC. Let's think about it though, man. You couldn't be out there in the parks or, jump on stage at, any jam in hip hop if your voice wasn't piercing through. If you sounded like a regular nigga, like you couldn't get on the mic.
Right. Mike, Prodigy, Raekwon.
Yeah, so who would you say over the past, 2021? People who've made a name for themselves over the past 10 to 15 years, let's say. Who has the best voice in hip hop?
Best rap voice?
People are saying Ross. People are saying Ross and Jeezy, but those guys are 05. I know I extended it to 15, but those guys are 05. So
Mike, and I wouldn't even go 15 years back. We would have to say 10 years back, because that would put Ross and Jeezy in game.
Those guys came out in 05. That's 16 years, if we want to be technical.
Okay. I mean, when I think about a voice, Mike, you want to actually know who I thought of? and I can't think of a voice to dispute it, Mike. And this might be the thing about why people like him so much, Mike. Benny's voice is booming and it's clear.
Benny's voice is booming. We got Pop Smoke in there. I feel that. I think that's
I
a
like
dope
I
assertion
like the Pop Smoke nod.
because that's
That's
strong.
Pop
You know what
Smoke
I'm
had a
saying?
great voice. It was strong. It was heavy. It was over the track. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Benny booms in there.
Benny is very actually Mike like and not like he can do what Kane does necessarily, but he's very Kane like that is a booming voice, but it's not overly booming and it's still very clear. Like you understand every word clearly, just like you understand Kane's booming voice clearly.
I see YG in here, and I see J. Cole. What do you think about J. Cole? Um, I don't know, man. I think he's in the middle. I don't think he has a weak
I think
voice.
Benny has a better rap voice.
Schoolboy Q is a good one.
I like Q.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
Q was a good choice. Q's got a great rap voice.
He does, man. And I think, again, that's one of the reasons why people flock to that. I see West Side Gun, but I think that's more in the higher pitch, right? And I
Right.
think that this era of MC
And a lot of
lives
people in
more
there,
in the
some
higher
people,
pitch.
Mike, and some people don't care for West Side's voice, and that's some of the detraction against him.
It is. It definitely is. But yeah, I do think that's one of the reasons why, one of Big Sean's shortcomings, but he's expressed that he does.
Oh, Mike,
yeah.
you want to know what? Electronica. Jay Electronica.
Yeah, Jay Electronica definitely. And you know what? He benefits from that.
He's got a great voice,
Yeah,
Mike.
he benefits from
He's got some of Biggie's voice elements in him. It's just not like where Biggie's like voice was like deep on a 10. It's like Electronica's is like a 7 or an 8. And he has that molasses like delivery too. It's just not as witty and unpredictable as Big, but he has some Big in him voice and flow wise, like some.
But yeah, man, this Big Sean and Hit Boy EP was impressive. I was impressed with not only Sean's delivery and, you know what I'm saying, just his content and where he was taking it, but just the chemistry that him and Hit Boy have. And Hit Boy was impressive in the fact that he seems to be able to just switch it up on a dime. Like, if I'm working with this person, I'm giving him this. And one thing I will say about Big Sean and Hit Boy together, they have developed a sound. And they sound super current in that sense where, like you were talking about, Jay-Z needing to sound current because he's always been current.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the kind of organic currentness that Jay would be searching for. Anything that Jay's doing, working with somebody from his generation would be considered nostalgic. So when you said current, I thought about this project and I thought about Hit Boy because he's able to kind of thread the needle between current and nostalgic, but Hit Boy already belongs to Nas. If Hit Boy ends up making a whole project for Jay and it's dope, like Hit Boy has put himself in a different echelon.
Do you think Jay would reach out to Hit Boy?
Of course he would.
I don't think
Of course
I don't
he
think he
would.
can because of what they've done with the King's Disease series in such a brief time. Because then the immediate expectation is that it has to be better than King's Disease 1 and at least comparable to 2 for it to even been worth the ride. And if it's not that, that's actually a hurt to his, that's a mark on his legacy, actually.
I think he would be up for the challenge. I just don't think that Hit Boy would do that to what him and Nas have going on right now.
I don't think so either. So
Yeah.
you still don't like my Travis thing? Because I'm just trying to think of somebody. Because here's the thing, too. Jay likes the attention. It has somebody to be big enough that it's going to move the meter, too. Like Travis would move the meter the way Jay likes the meter move. It's like, oh, Jay and Travis working on something? What?
You know what? I will
You
say
got to
this.
think on that level when you think about Jay, too. Because if he's going to do something like that, it ain't just going to be,
You know who has? I mean, Jay would have the most to lose out of this because if it was a dud or it didn't turn out the way it needed to, Travis could keep on going the way he's going. You know what I'm
But
saying?
that's why I said it's like that's what I'm saying. Travis can't lose in this situation from taking this project on, and you also just like you don't say no when a guy like Jay tells you that he wants you to do his old project. It don't matter who you are or where you're at.
I just
your
don't think
career.
that. I just don't think that a record.
No matter.
I just don't think that a record that would be that creative is good for Jay right now. He got to get back to the basics. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think recreating the wheel, if he's going to go out there and put out an album, he needs to be able to hit people on a level. And I don't think trying to trick them sonically is the move. I think Jay-Z's best move right now, and I'm gonna keep it all the way 100, is to do a Watch the Throne too. That's the best move. It is. People want it. It's Kanye.
I didn't really want it the first time.
Well, see, that's you. I mean, people love Watch the Throne. Watch the Throne is a classic.
Stop saying that.
Like, that's what people say. I don't think it is. It's not a classic to me. But
there's not even 5 classic records on there. Do you understand? People are calling albums classic now that don't even have 5 classic songs. What are we doing?
We got 80 people in the room. What do y'all think about Watch the Throne? Is it a classic or is it not? Is Watch the Throne classic? Yes or no? Just type in yes or no in the chat.
But why are people saying this?
People want it, man. And you got to get, at this point in your career, you kind of just got to give people what they want. You got to give people what they want. And I don't know, man.
There will be no more Otises and niggas in Paris. Like, that's over. Don't y'all understand that? There's no more niggas in Paris and Otis. It's not happening again.
Nah, man.
It barely happened. It barely came off well the first time. That's what I'm saying. There's only like 6 or 7 songs on there, and only about 3 or 4 of those songs are great.
Hold on.
No Church in the Wild.
Okay, Otis, you're naming songs.
No Church in the Wild.
Go ahead.
Otis, Niggas in Paris. Those are the highlights. What is Murder to Excellence on there? Right?
It is on there. Yes.
That's 5. There you go.
So you didn't like Gotta Have It?
That was okay. I would put that like on that 6 or 7. Like there's about 6 or 7 joints on there. Only about 3 to 4 of them are really great. Only about 2 of them are all-time classic. How? When does that make an album a classic?
I guess when people start calling the Marshall Mathers LP a classic.
Alfredo's better than Watch the Throne.
So you've said on this podcast before that the Marshall Mathers LP is a classic.
Yes.
How many classic records are on there?
Well, Mike, we already did a show where we did that rundown, and I actually believe in that discussion, I ended up agreeing with you and said you had a valid point for why you may not feel like it's a classic when we ran down the song for song. So that would be kind of like holding true to that. It's like I did say it was a classic, and when we ran down the songs, I was like, oh, Mike, you want to know what? You got a point.
Well, that's a great segue here, man. Drake says that Eminem is underappreciated.
We damn sure talk about him a lot. We damn sure talk about him a lot for him to be underappreciated. He gets a lot of appreciation on here, it seems like.
I mean, what does underappreciated even mean? I mean, I guess we're going to have to just pull up the definition of underappreciated. Listen, man, I don't know if this is because, you got the halftime show coming up. I don't know if Drake's looking for a spot on there or something, but how could we even say that the highest selling rapper of all time is underappreciated? Where should we appreciate him?
So, Mike, here's what I will say to you. For the class of MCs that he's talked about with, it's like, okay, well, where's your Illmatic? Where's your Ready to Die or Life After Death? Where's your Reasonable Doubt? Where's your America's Most Wanted or Death Certificate? Where's your Follow the Leader or Paid in Full? Where's your Criminal Minded by Any Means Necessary? Where's your Long Live the Cane? Where's your Road to Riches? Like, where is it? Like, where's your Muddy Waters?
He doesn't even have a Get Rich or Die Trying.
No. So, like, it's like, no, he's not, like, the status that he's held in, like, understand everybody that he stands next to, they're walking around with at least one album in their catalog that dwarfs whatever his best album is.
I just want to know where these statements
he's not underappreciated.
I just want to know where these statements come from, because whenever he drops, his shit's number one, right? He sells records. He's won Grammy for Rap Album of the Year for like the first 8 albums he put out, no matter who was in the category.
He's won 6, if memory serves, him and Kanye.
Yeah.
They just handed to them back to back. It's just like, okay, it's Eminem one year, it's Kanye the next year.
Whatever album he comes out with, because I think his first album, it went against Chronic 2001, and it won Rap Album of the Year at the Grammys, right? So you get all these. He's probably, I mean, I haven't went and counted like all the awards, but it's probably the most awarded hip hop artist that there is, if not top 3 or 4 or 5.
Mike, no, if we're
he's been
talking about Grammys, I think him and Kanye are tied as far as like rap album of the year Grammys, but I think Kanye has more Grammys than Eminem actually.
Yeah,
So the
Kanye
answer would
and
be
Jay
yeah.
do. Yeah,
But
him
as
and
far
Jay
as
do.
albums
Yeah.
of the year, I think they're tied with like 5 or 6 apiece or something like that. It's like 4, 5, or 6, something like that. It's
But again,
ridiculous.
Kanye had to put up a fight to get his shit recognized. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. He doesn't even have to do anything. Yeah, I mean, where does this verbiage even underappreciated by who? Underappreciated by who? That's the question.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, no, Mike, he didn't make Doggy Style.
DeCarlo says, yeah, but y'all treat him like he's Ja Rule.
No, Mike treat him like he Ja Rule. I'm very clear.
Let me be very clear.
Great MC and lyricist.
Let me be very clear when you want to mention Ja Rule. I just seen Ja Rule's verses. Eminem would get waxed by Ja Rule in a verses. Let's just keep it a fucking buck. Let's keep it 100. Y'all niggas is not going back listening to Eminem records like y'all might go back and listen to some Ja Rule records. Where is his Murdergram? Where is it? Y'all was bumping the Slim Shady Hi My Name Is over Holla Holla. Let's keep it real, man. Let's be a buck. Y'all want to throw Ja Rule's name in here. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't treat Eminem like he's Ja Rule.
Very problematic.
Come on, man. Let's keep it real, man. Dude ain't even got Get Rich or Die Trying, so he's underappreciated. From whom? I think he's overappreciated. I think Drake is overappreciated too. You're talking about basically two of the most overrated artists.
So no,
in hip-hop.
Mike, no. Let's take a step back or even a step down. Let's not even put him like in the Nas, Jay, Rakim, KRS stratosphere. Let's go to somebody like Common. Okay. Does he have Mike? Is his best album better than B or Like Water for Chocolate?
It's not. You know, and I got people in here. So LP says his first 3 albums are classic. Let's explore that. Are they? Is the Slim Shady LP classic? And we can go down the line real quick.
You like the Slim Shady LP more than the Marshall Mathers LP, Mike.
I would tell you. But it ain't classic.
And the Eminem Show?
The Eminem Show is his best work, I think.
Okay. Do you think any of those albums are classic?
I think the Eminem Show is the closest, but in my personal opinion, no.
And if someone said that they were, it would be because of the impact. Will you say that all 3 of those albums are great?
No, I think that when we talk about great, there's a different level here, man.
Okay, so is the Eminem Show great for you? If you think that's his best piece of work, do you think the Eminem Show is great?
I think for Eminem, yes, the Eminem Show is great. If there was any album that he put out that I would give great status, I would give it to the Eminem Show.
And so you think the other 2 projects that preceded it are just good?
Yeah.
Okay, so there are a lot of guys walking around that are considered to be great that just have one great album that's not a classic and a couple of good projects. So he's not underappreciated. Like he's properly rated for the most part, because I don't see him really making anybody's top 10 list, and I don't necessarily think he deserves to, but I don't think he's no slouch as an MC either.
Well, DeCarlo says, Mike, that's why Drake said what he said, because of comments like yours. Well, let's go down it real quick, right? Slim Shady LP, you got public service announcement, right? Skit. Hi, My Name Is. What do you think about that record?
Next.
Guilty Conscience.
Yes.
Yes. Brain Damage.
Yes.
If I Had. 97 Bonnie and Clyde. Dope.
Yes.
Demented but dope. Role Model.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. Lounge Skit. My Fault. Yeah. It's another skit. Come On Everybody. Yeah. Rock Bottom. Yes.
I didn't like that either.
You didn't like Rock Bottom either? Okay.
No. I wasn't a fan of it. And now that you're saying it, I remember that my problem with that album is I wasn't a fan of the second half as I was the first.
Yeah.
And so I kind of thought it was kind of 4-ish.
Just Don't Give a Fuck.
Yeah.
As the World Turns. There's a lot of skits on here too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Shady.
Oh, All that was some mid on them last couple.
Yeah. Bad Meets Evil.
Yes.
Still don't give a fuck.
Man.
Yeah.
It was like that was filler to sell records to make sure he went like triple, quadruple.
Yeah. J Mar says those records aged horribly. Okay. All right. Well,
He was right about most of those records because when I thought about it, it's like Guilty Conscience and Brain Damage are probably the only two records I would still play today. Wouldn't you say that? 97 Bonnie and Clyde, too. Those three.
I mean, but it's one of those things like 97 Bonnie and Clyde. I can respect the artistry and all that, but there's never really a time where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna throw that on.
No, but what I'm saying is if it were to come on, I would listen to it because I'd be like, oh, like, he was doing something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great 8 says catalog aged like milk. All right. Marshall Mathers LP. We're just gonna go down the line real quick. Public service announcement 2000. So many fillers. All right. Kill You.
I like Kill You. Yeah.
Stan.
Yeah.
All right. Paul Skit. Who Knew?
Yeah.
Yeah. Steve Berman's skit. It's like every other song's a skit. All right. The Way I Am. That's your joint.
Definite.
The Real Slim Shady.
Yeah.
Remember Me.
That's solid.
I liked Remember Me.
Yeah, it's solid. Yeah.
I'm Back.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Marshall Mathers, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ken Kaepernick skit. Okay. Drug Ballad.
Yeah.
You like Drug Ballad? I'm surprised.
Yeah.
You usually don't like the happy shit.
It was, yeah, I like it.
Amityville.
Yes.
It's my favorite song on there, actually.
Yes.
Bitch Please 2.
You don't, I do.
I don't dislike it. It's just not his song to me. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
I'll tell you what. I'm never going to play it over the first one. The only way I'm playing this record is if the first one gets removed from streaming
Never
out.
do that. No, I would never do that.
Yeah.
Would never do that.
Yeah,
would
yeah.
never, ever do that. Would not do that.
Kim. No. Under the Influence.
No. I like Kim. I was just thinking, I hope the Atlanta Braves really like whoop the Astros ass tonight. I'm sorry. I was lost on the thought for a second. No, I like Kim.
Oh, my God. I'm never going to play Kim, though. All right. Under the Influence.
Yeah.
Criminal.
Solid.
Yeah. Okay.
Solid.
And we'll go to the last. I mean, because really, what we're going through right now doesn't really sound like classic stuff. Like, if we was going through Rakim shit, niggas be like, "Yo, man, that's my shit." Well, we would have stories.
Mike, if we would have like went through Rakim's catalog right now, we would have like went through like 10 of the greatest rap songs ever by now.
Right. And lastly, but not least, we're gonna go through the Slim Shady. I'm not Slim Shady. Excuse me. The Eminem Show. Curtains Up skit. White America.
Yeah.
Business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get down to business. We don't cleaning out my closet.
Cleaning out my closet. Yeah.
Okay. Square Dance.
I like Square Dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Kiss skit. Soldier. My favorite song on here.
Everybody else loves it. I'm not a big fan, but it's a solid record. Yeah.
Say Goodbye to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drips featuring Obi Trice.
That was pretty good. It was interesting.
Without Me.
Yeah.
Paul Rosenberg skit. Sing for the Moment. That's a dope record. Didn't like Sing for the Moment?
Yeah.
Okay. Superman.
I love Superman.
Okay. Haley.
I like that. He's out of his element.
Yeah. Yeah, he was showing the flow.
Pulled it off.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I love these hoes. It's no secret. Everybody knows. Yeah.
Haley
he got
song.
down on there. What was next?
Haley song.
That was pretty good. I liked it.
Okay. Steve Berman skit. I'm sorry. Yeah, When the Music Stops featuring D12.
Nah, you can keep that.
Okay.
You can keep that.
Say What You Say featuring Dr. Dre.
Say What You Say is the shit.
That's dope. Till I Collapse.
Yes, love Till I Collapse.
Okay.
That might be my favorite song on there.
My Dad's Gone Crazy.
Yes, I like my dad's going crazy.
All right, and curtains
It's
closed.
definitely the child definitely is going to need some therapy after doing that song, but the record is great. Child needs some therapy after doing that.
My goodness. You know what? Based on what we just we went through the first three albums. I feel like the Eminem show was the one that had the strongest, at least reaction from you on the song.
No, Mike, I think we did that rundown before where I was like, oh, well, Mike, you might be on to something when you say the Eminem show is better, just like song for song. But what I'm saying is that he's not trash. We just listed off. I mean, didn't we just list off at least like 15, 20 dope records?
Yeah, I mean, when I say he's trash, yeah, I'm exaggerating, but he's
Right.
overrated.
Okay.
Definitely.
But he's not underappreciated. He's not walking around with no Doggy Style or Illmatic or Ready to Die or Paid in Full either.
Who is underappreciated? What MC in hip hop would you say is underappreciated? So that we could make a real example of. Who?
Black Thought used to be the answer, but he's so feared and so rated now properly, we can't say him anymore. He's always been the go-to pick, Mike. I think the nerve that we touched with Cool G Rap really said something to me.
I was gonna go the other direction. I was gonna say LL.
I was actually about Mike. Well, that's funny. That was going to be the next person that I brought up because just that whole conversation and how we ended up speaking about Cool G Rap and LL. I seen how many people still really love them and for valid reasons, and they haven't really been getting their proper flowers in the last 10 years specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of the legends, those two guys come to mind. If we're talking overall, Mike, when I look at what AZ has just done with this last album, I say to myself, has there ever been a year where AZ has been considered to be a top 5 MC in the game?
I don't think so. Not off the top of my head.
Well, then that would be underrated because he's one of the best lyricists of all time, and he's still making quality, high output, 25 years after his debut.
I agree. You know what? You want to do this mock versus? This was a surprise for people. We got like 112 people in the room right now, so
yeah,
we might as well go ahead and do it. What me and Coop did was, like we did for the LL and Busta Rhymes, we went ahead and chose 20 songs each. This time I took on LL and Coop took on Jay-Z because that was the conversation. And so we're going to go ahead and keep score on this, man. And we want y'all in the room to kind of help us judge this as well. Are you ready to go?
So I want to say a couple things. First
go
of all,
ahead, qualify.
When you're dealing with somebody's like Jay's catalog, the gravity of it, and you have to pick songs specifically for who he's up against. So if he was like up against a Rakim or a Nas, I would not have picked these same songs.
Gotcha.
Now, I also want to say something. When you went the rap voice, Mike, and we were talking about rap voices, well, notice that I didn't bring Jay up in that conversation with the rest of those guys because to me, Jay doesn't have a great rap voice like the rest of those guys. He's up against somebody with a really great rap voice. So I picked a lot of records that not only are hit worthy and noteworthy, but where he sounds his best and he can showcase some of his talents. So songs like Run This Town, although it's a big hit, isn't on my list because I don't think that it's going to do him justice against somebody like L because of L's voice, L's catalog, and L's performance ability.
Okay. And let me qualify mine a little bit. A lot of the songs that you chose, I chose too, because obviously they're huge records. But I stayed away from a lot of LL's features. I think I only got one feature in there, if I got that correct. But yeah, and I did a couple of, songs that weren't singles, similar to what you did, but that was more so on the earlier end, and you guys will see it. But you ready? I need to send you my list too, man, because, let me text you my list before we get started so you actually know what you're up against and you're not just hearing it. So, all right, boom. So let's start it out. I started out just like you did. We got Radio versus PSA. I like how you started with PSA. That's very, very strong. I'm going to give that one to Jay-Z, to be honest.
Because I knew who I was dealing with. That's why I'm saying I started off with PSA because I know L. That's L. L's going to come out with some hard, heavy, like you got to, yeah.
Okay.
Like if it would have been Nas, I would have came out with Dead Presidents. You feel me?
Yo, K Thompson's in the room, man. Shout out to K Thompson. He said something I want to stop and give credence to. He said Rhapsody's underappreciated. Now that's the truth.
That is the truth.
Because people act like she didn't even happen or something. Well, I don't want to say that. People act like
Yeah, I mean-
Jean Grey never
Yeah.
happened. I don't
Yeah.
like that. And people act like Foxy Brown never happened too. So she's clearly underappreciated as well. All right. Rock the Bells versus I Just Wanna Love You. That's Rock the Bells. That's tough, man, but that's Rock
Let's
the
rock
Bells.
the bells. Yeah,
That's Rock the Bells, man. Damn, I'm glad I went there. Okay.
I'm glad. See, and that's crazy because I played that record to try to take something from you early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad I went there second. We got Rampage versus Dirt Off Your Shoulders. That's tough. I go Rampage because I'm not a huge Dirt Off Your Shoulders fan.
I'm not a huge, but this is what I mean about, well, he's up against LL, so he's going to have to perform something. And so where he has LL is his rapid pace delivery and his flow. And so this is one of his bigger hits that displays that.
I think
You
once
know,
that
I-
beat drops, it would supersede Rampage. If I'm putting myself into the arena, just say we at the Garden, we at, what I'm saying, Barclay or whatever, as soon as that, people are saying Rampage in the room though.
I was actually going to say we should let the people decide this one because I'm somewhere in the middle with that.
Okay.
I like, how about this? I like both of these records from both of these artists, but neither one of these records are these artists at their best, just at a high level.
Okay. What do y'all say in the room, man? Do y'all got Rampage, LL's verse on Rampage, EPMD's Rampage, or Jay-Z's Dirt Off Your Shoulders?
Mike, actually, you want to know what? I would give it the Rampage too, actually, but like let the people decide. When I think about that, I would say Rampage too. And that's a good choice by you, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I think people are stuck too, man. Ain't nobody really.
Right.
I'm seeing Rampage.
Yeah, Rampage. I think it's Rampage, Mike.
I want to go Rampage. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I might need this one, going down the line. All right. We got Loungin' Remix versus Can I Get Her? That's Loungin'. I'm sorry, man.
I think that's lounging too, Mike, actually.
Okay.
Not by a lot, but yeah.
Not by a lot. I Need a
Good luck.
Beat or Izzo? I'm going I Need a Beat.
Me too, Mike. So this is what I was saying about how Jay's singles are dope, but they're going against iconic singles. That's what you're finding out, right?
No, this is real. This is real.
Real.
Okay.
Like
So,
I Just Want to Love You just lost to Rock the Bells, Mike, and it should lose to Rock the Bells.
And it's funny, man. I mean, for the people who are just catching up, we are in round, what is it? We're about to be in round 6. And we're talking about LL Cool J and Jay-Z in the verses. And the score right now looks like 4-1. I know
I'm
I
gonna come
started
back
off
on the
really
back
strong
end.
with mine, though. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Okay.
Mike, I played PSA and I Just Want to Love You to start off. I didn't start off weak.
Well, yeah, there's no weak ways with these guys' catalog. Okay. 4, 3, 2, 1 versus Dead Presidents. That's Dead Presidents 2.
That Presidents too. Glad
Yeah.
I put it right there.
Yeah, I'm glad you put it right there too. We got Doing It versus Hard Knock Life. Now, this one I like.
Ooh.
I'm going Doing It, personally. But I understand how important Hard Knock Life is. But I feel like Hard Knock Life, kind of like what you said about Empire State of Mind, I think we hold Hard Knock Life high because of who made it.
No, I'll give you that. I think we hold it high now because of what it did for his career.
Mm-hmm.
I think Doing It is the better record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to see what people in the room think too, but
Yeah,
for
I
right
want to see
now
what
we're
people think
gonna.
about. Yeah, that's one of those. I want to see what the people think about that too.
Okay, what's the better record? LL Cool J Doing It or Jay-Z's Hard Knock Life? Which one aged better? Which one do you hear more? We
No,
got
Doing
Don-
It aged better. It's not a question of that. Doing It aged better.
We got Doing It. We got Hard Knock Life here. I Plead the Fifth. Doing It. Looks like
It's
Doing
Doing
It's
It.
winning this one.
Yeah, it's Doing It. Yeah.
K.
That's
Thompson
5
said,
for
I
2,
never
Mike.
liked Hard Knock Life like that. Dante Smith says doing it. Doing it wins. Okay, yeah, we still getting votes in for doing it. All right. Now we got I Need Love and Where I'm From. It's we weren't beside each other when we were matching these up, so obviously you could deal with those things. There's no way that Where I'm From could be a record like I Need Love. It's another iconic record.
I love that record by Jay.
I love that record too, but I mean, is there any way in the versus situation you could justify I Need Love losing to Where I'm From?
Mike, it's just his spit game on there. I'm from where they cross over and clap boards. Lost Jehovah in place of rap lords.
I understand.
Listen, I'm up the
97
block,
Hov,
around
man.
the corner, and down the street from where the pimps, prostitutes, and the drug lords meet. We make $1 million off beats because our stories is deep. Fuck tomorrow, long as the night before was sweet.
Where I'm From is getting some votes, but most people in here are saying I Need Love.
They are. Where I'm
Yeah.
From's a monster of a record.
It is, man.
Like, how about this? Where I'm From was his monster, like, street record to me before You Don't Know.
Oh,
And,
definitely. And it was his go-to when he went
From
to
where
that.
niggas pull your card and argue all day about who's the best MCs, Big E, Jay-Z, and Nas.
Thugs are. Look, and we got in round 9, we got Jingling Baby and 99 Problems.
See, this is the problem. That's what I'm saying. That's another monster record from Jay. And here's why I picked 99 Problems. Like, I wouldn't have picked that, but it's like, oh no, that's a Rick Rubin track he flexing on. Who L work with?
I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you, man. I like Jingling Baby more than I like 99 Problems. But if somebody felt like 99 Problems is the better song, I'm not mad at that. But me personally, I like Jingling Baby better. Where are you at on this? Because you're a big 99 Problems fan. I'm really not. So I'm not the best person to ask.
That's another one of letting the people ask. I think Jingling Baby's better than 99 Problems.
Okay, we got somebody saying it's a tie. We got Jingling Baby. We got 99 Problems. Mike 100 says 99. Real Talk says, whoa, classic matchup.
This might be our tie.
This could be I'm not mad at this being a tie.
Yeah.
We got another person says 99 Problems. We got Jingling Baby. This looks close. And then we got 99 Problems. Like every other one is just, A-B. We got Jingling Baby remix is better. Yeah, I'm talking about the remix.
Yeah, we're
want
talking about the
people to be
remix.
clear,
We're talking
yeah.
about the remix, yeah.
K Thompson says, I never liked 99 Problems. Real Talk says Jingling. Miss Emil says 99 Problems didn't age well. What do you think about that sentiment? Did 99 Problems age well?
In a
Jingling
stadium,
Baby.
Probably sounds better than in your car at this point.
Jingling Baby all day. 99 Problems goes hard. Yeah, I guess we can call this one a while.
This is a tie.
Let's
We got
just
one
do
tie.
this one a time. All right.
Yeah.
That was a close one. That's interesting. Hey Lover versus 22 Twos.
22 twos.
Hey, yeah, 22 Twos is a better record. It's interesting you threw that one in there.
I threw it in because it's a Tribe Called Quest reference. It's more from LL's time, and that's one of those J lyrical rap displays that he has to pull off because he doesn't have the iconic hits or the voice live that LL has. But the way he's spitting on there and the alliteration and the concept, yeah, that's a moment.
Okay. All right. So we got I Shot Your remix and Do It Again. As much
That's
as
the
I
I Shot
love,
You remix.
huh?
That's the I Shot You remix.
It is. And as much as I love Jay-Z's verse on Do It Again, man. Ooh, this one's tough, man. Around the Way Girl or Heart of the City. I don't know,
Ooh.
man.
Ooh,
I don't know. That's tough, man.
we matched that one up perfect.
What do you guys think? LL Cool
Yeah, I don't
J's
know what the
Around the
people
Way
think.
Girl or
I
Jay-Z's
don't know
Heart
what
of
to
the
say
City?
about that.
LL Cool J Around the Way Girl or Jay-Z's Heart of the City? I'm leaning towards Heart of the City, man.
I am leaning a little that way too, Mike. That was a moment for him. He was like introspective, but he was still like Jay. Like he's steely on there. Like he's steely. He's still like the Don on there, but he's kind of like, yeah.
And this is him at the top of his flossy, Jigga shit. Like he's not Reasonable Doubt Jay.
Right.
And yeah, he was able to take it in an introspective lane
Yeah,
where
no, I like what he did with Heart of the City. It's one of my favorite Jay records. It's one of his best moments to me.
it's crazy that Around the Way Girl was going to be taken by that. But okay, let's give that one to Jay. I know
I
people in
mean,
the chat are
I mean,
saying
Mike,
a
I've
lot of
been losing.
things.
I've been losing a lot of great Jay records, so it's like,
And a lot of people in the chat are saying Round the Way Girl, Heart of the City, Heart of the City, Round the Way Girl. Uh, oh man, that's a close one. Okay, but we gave that one to Jay. And right now it's still looking like 7-4 with a tie out here. I'm Bad versus Jigga What Jigga Who. I got I'm Bad on that.
I got I'm bad. I do.
Booming System, Can't Knock the Hustle. I got Can't Knock the Hustle.
I can't knock the hustle. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, Mike, and I would have put Ain't No Nigga down on here because it's Jay's real breakthrough hit, but we really can't put that down now, can we?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, and so do everybody else up in this motherfucker.
Jack the Ripper, and you got Big Pimpin'. Big Pimpin's the bigger.
Big pimpin'. Yep. See, it ain't that bad now. See, I knew I was going to catch you on the back end, so it's 6-8 with a tie now. So let's see.
Backseat of My Jeep or Money Cash. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Ill Bomb, Money Cash Hoes.
I actually think Ill Bomb's better.
I think Ill Bomb's the better song, too.
What do the people say? Because I think that's close.
Ill Bomb or Money Cash Hoes. LL Cool J's Ill Bomb, Jay-Z's Money Cash Hoes. I feel like Ill Bomb probably aged better. I think that Ill Bomb was one of those records that when it came out, I felt like L had like he was reinvigorated, man. And
it was a reminder moment.
That whole GOAT album, that made me buy into it. Ill Bomb made me buy into the GOAT album. I was like, oh yeah, LL's back on his shit. It was that, and then when he got on the toilet in the basement of Rap City. EP says Ill Bomb. We got Ill Bomb. Ill Bomb. LL was in his bag on that one. Ill Bomb. Ill Bomb. Ill Bomb is blowing it out. That's crazy. Okay. Never would have thought it.
So we right. Yeah. So give him Ill Bomb.
Never would have thought it. Okay. I thought I was going to lose that one.
Ill Bomb was a moment. Yeah.
I was debating whether to even put Ill Bomb on this.
Oh, no, Mike. For me, as an MC, that's his best modern day moment.
Okay. We got Backseat of My Jeep and Can I Live? Can I Live? Yeah.
That's Can I Live.
Oh, man. I played this one, right? We got the Doo-Wop and Imaginary Play. Imaginary Play gets that. And I'm glad that I didn't lose another record to Imaginary
I was debating between Imaginary Player and Streets is Watching, but I picked Imaginary Player because it's more of who Jay is. And so I can see him on live talking. Be like, remember when I introduced y'all to Platinum in 97?
Classic. I want to update people, man. We are actually really close right now. Right now, it's looking like LL 9, Jay-Z 8, and we got a tie. And we got 2 songs to go.
Yeah.
So now we're looking at Love You Better or Lucifer. I like Lucifer. Love You Better as a song, but
I like Lucifer more as a song.
Do you?
Lucifer.
I want to ask people. I've never been a big fan of Lucifer like that.
From the murder capital, where we murder for capital.
All right, we got LL Cool J's Love You Better or Jay-Z's Lucifer. Who y'all got?
In Los Angeles, like an evangelist. I can introduce you to your maker, bring you closer to nature. Yeah, crazy on there. His delivery on there is just otherworldly.
Okay. All right, I'm cool with Lucifer winning that.
What are the people
LP saying? Says Love You Better.
Well, I'm about to say, what are the people saying?
Yeah.
I mean, because in my mind, that's not close. So I want to see what the people say.
People still talking about Ill Bomb.
Yeah, Ill Bomb shit.
Clive Day's Music says Love You Better. Emmanuel says Love You Better.
Wow, really?
Jay and Dre says Love You Better. Gray 8 says Love You Better. P. White says Lucifer. Kanye came with a bag wicked. We got Lucifer again, but yeah, it looks like the people are saying Love You Better.
Okay.
I mean,
People break the tie because you think it's Love You Better. I think it's Lucifer. The people are saying Love You Better. That's where we're rolling.
okay. Well, that puts LL at 10 and Jay at 8 in the tie. So this last round looks like Mama Said Knock You Out and You Don't Know.
That still you don't know as great as Mama Said Knock You Out is.
Okay. I want to see what the people say, and I'm not mad at that because I think that You Don't Know is a top 3 Jay-Z song straight up. Which one y'all got? Mama Said Knock You Out by LL or Jay-Z's You Don't Know? I want to see what they got to say, but based on what we just had up here, it looks like L won 10-9 with a tie. So, might not be as crazy as what verses as people think it is.
And I want to say this: some of Jay's best stuff isn't built for verses. Like The Evils is not built for verses. Politics as Usual is not built for verses. A Million One Questions,
Yeah.
not built for verses, really. Maybe. Like,
I
maybe
mean, like
A
we
Million One
said in
Questions round
previous
no more.
shows, like we said in the previous show, man, I think this thing was just tailor made for somebody like a LL Cool J.
No, you're right, Mike. It is. Because so many
Let me see
jams
what
are
people
going to
got
come
to say
on. You're
about
going to be
Mama
like,
Said
that's
Knock You
my
Out.
jam.
I think a lot of people are choosing Mama Said Knock You Out. Hold on, let me get to this
Really?
real quick. Yeah.
So is it beating them 11-8?
My man Mark Wright. What up, Mark? He said Love You Better, easy. They picked Love You Better, but Emmanuel says Knock You Out. Grade 8 says You Don't Know is an anthem. Swan says again another LL track. Mama Said Knock You Out. Another iconic LL track. Excuse me. Jay and Dre says Mama Said Knock You Out. Civil Days Music says nothing is taking Mama Said Knock You Out. Y'all tripping. Okay.
I mean, Mama Said Knock You Out might be my favorite LL Cool J song. I just don't inherently think that it's better than You Don't Know. Like, because I can't say that it's better than You Don't Know lyrically, beat, or delivery wise.
I think delivery got it. I mean, that damage, destruction,
Maybe okay.
terror.
So we can argue about the delivery.
Yeah.
No. I'll give you Mike. No, I love Mama Said Knock You Out. Like, of all the LL, that's probably the LL Cool J record that I've played the most in my life. So
I mean,
love
I
the
think
record.
it
It's
could
a great
really
way
be.
to end it.
I mean, I think that was a really good choice by you having that one last because I think that You Don't Know could possibly be Jay-Z's best
Oh,
song.
Mike, when I was doing this list, I immediately went to 1 and 20. I was like, we're starting off with PSA, and then when You Don't Know, and we're
Of
going to
course.
fill in the gaps.
Yeah. Or vice
Allow me
versa.
to
You know what I mean? But
reintroduce
You Don't Know
myself.
is different. I remember hearing You Don't Know and thinking like, yo, this is the best beat Jay-Z's ever rhymed on. And at that
You Don't Know
time,
still plays in the club, Mike. When that beat comes on in the club, it shifts the environment and the atmosphere of the room.
I think that could go either way. You know, people are in the room are saying Mama Said Knock You Out. And if it went to Mama Said Knock You Out, then we got LL or y'all have LL beating Jay-Z in the verses with this list.
Yeah, because
11
y'all
to
would
8.
pick some of these records that I thought Jay was going to beat, like
Yeah.
The Love You Better over Lucifer. That's surprising to me.
That's crazy, man. Like, I think that, no, the one that surprised me was the Ill Bomb.
No, that didn't surprise me so much. I love Il Bomb.
I love Ill Bomb too. I thought it was just me.
No, it ain't just you, Mike. All of us was back on LL's tip when he dropped the L bomb. It's like you heard L drop the bomb on him, like literally dropped the bomb on him. So
did,
Flex
man.
drop a bomb on him.
Yeah, ask my man up in, ask Russell who put
That's
him up
who
in that
put him in the
skyscraper.
skyscrapers. Ask them cats over at Fubu who made a major. LL nigga, who's next to need a favor.
Drop a bomb on him. LL put Def Jam on his back early as a teen, and
It's
we gotta
so much heat because it's true.
That's why I think he's the most underappreciated. We sit here and look at Def Jam records for what it is now. LL built Def Jam brick by brick as an artist because they only had Beastie Boys for that one album. And that was a big, boost that they needed at the time. But as far as
Slick Rick got
consistency,
locked up. Public Enemy, they had Public Enemy, but that was after L.
yeah, that was after L. Like I said,
Oh,
like
Rick.
L's records built the building blocks for them to even have Public Enemy and to even sign somebody like a Slick Rick.
You want to know what I really realized, though, Mike? Even when you put, the reason that he's winning these songs against Jay, and I want to say this, Jay is the superior MC, but that doesn't mean he's the superior songwriter.
Agreed.
And where LL really probably may not be getting his flowers is that he might be the best full-fledged songwriter this game has ever seen, because when you put his best material up and line it up, it can beat anybody or rival anybody, and that's a moniker and a trademark of how great of a songwriter he is, that he has so many iconic songs.
I think
that
either
means
him
the
or
person
Pac.
making the songs is a great songwriter.
I think
Like
either
when
him
people,
or Pac.
Mike Pac is who immediately came to mind for me. I thought of Pac and Nas and Scarface, but let's
But
go
see,
to the
Pac
people.
could do things that Nas and Scarface couldn't do. Like they
No,
couldn't.
no,
Yeah.
you're right. So no, I told you, Mike, Pac and LL would be a really, really fascinating verses, because unlike Jay, oh no, L's taking some of them. Like you not about to tell me that I Need Love is about to beat Dear Mama, and
Yeah.
you're not about to tell me that Mama Said Knock You Out is about to beat California Love. You feel
That's
me?
real.
That's real.
Yeah.
So that's the thing with
Pac
Pac.
got some
So,
big ones, man.
but Mike, let's go to the people that, like, you're wearing a Beatles hoodie right now. You want to know why the Beatles music really holds up? It's because of the songwriting of John Lennon and Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Their songwriting skills are what made those songs live on. And so when we're talking about how iconic L's songs are, well, that's the testament to the songwriting, the same way people testify about Lennon and McCartney's songwriting skills in relationship to the Beatles. You feel me? It's the same exact thing. And so where we're not giving his flowers is that he's hip hop's best songwriter pound for pound, Mike. And those iconic songs are the proof, because you literally can only name a handful of people that even have enough iconic songs for it to be a discussion. Like Rakim is in this discussion, Pac is in this discussion, Nas, Big. After those guys, I think it's a problem. And even with like Nas and Big, I don't think Big has enough of the iconic hit record. Nas doesn't have any of them to compete. You know what I'm
What do
saying?
you think
So when
about
start
Snoop's? What do you think about Snoop's Dogg's writing skills?
Snoop gets underrated as a writer. I mean, his peak moments came in the first moments of his career, but I mean, you ain't gonna find a peak much higher as far as songwriting.
He wrote the Chronic and Doggy Style. You got to give him that,
Wrote the
right?
Chronic and Doggy Style. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Def Jam songwriting and Snoop, did you hear what Snoop had to say about I guess how he helped out, or him and Corrupt helped out Warren G in his transition over to Def Jam? Let me go to it for the people who haven't seen it. Snoop Dogg was recently on the Breakfast Club, and they were talking about his transition and his position at Def Jam. And I think Charlamagne brought up Warren G going to Def Jam and how that kind of held up the West Coast for a second, too. Here it is.
It was a period when the West Coast saved Def Jam before.
Yeah, Warren G.
Yep.
Now, my pen has something to do with that as well.
Oh, Joe, you wrote on
Like I
Regulator?
said, my pen has something to do with that.
That's a hip hop tidbit we never knew.
I mean, because we was trying to protect the homie from Suge Knight at the time. Suge was taking everything, so we wanted to make sure Warren G had a dope record without him being able to get it. So we silently, me and Corrupt and a few others, went to work for Warren G to make sure that his record would be what it was.
Wow. So y'all didn't mind him signing to Def Jam. Y'all didn't want
We
him.
wanted him to sign with Def Jam. We all wanted to be on Def Jam. Def Jam was a dream label. You gotta understand, Public Enemy, Slick Rick, LL Cool J, EPMD. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is foundation to hip hop for us.
What do you get from that? Like, well,
So
Go ahead.
so verbiage is so key, because a lot of what has happened is that people have been going around and saying that Snoop said he wrote Regulate. If
He
you
never
listen
said
to But if you listen to it, Charlamagne is saying wrote on Regulate, as in the name of Warren G's album was called Regulate the G-Funk Era 2. The single was called Regulate 2. So he's saying right on Regulate. He's talking in relationship to the album, not the song. Now, Warren G came out and made a comment saying that he did not write the song Regulate, but he wrote This DJ.
well, let me
And
read.
so-
Let me read what Warren wrote
Yeah.
real quick. I'm gonna put it on the screen for the people at home. Warren G posted on his Instagram. He said, the source. I guess he was responding to the source in their post. Says Snoop wrote on Snoop wrote on This DJ, produced by me, and Corrupt wrote Do You See Other. Man, the caps are crazy right here. I'm sorry, let me start over. Snoop wrote on This DJ, produced by me, and Corrupt wrote Do You See Other than that, I wrote everything else. Induce Smoke is a song that got me signed to Def Jam by Chris
Yeah, Indo
Lighty.
Smoke. Yeah,
Yeah, Indo Smoke. Yeah, yeah, Indo Smoke.
I
So
remember Indo Smoke. It was a
yeah, I
jam.
remember that record. Got him signed by Def Jam by Chris Lighty, Leo Cohen, and Tracy Welp. Then Regulate was my first single, written by me and produced by me. Yes, Snoop Dogg did help with support. It's what we all did for each other, just like I helped with The Chronic and Ideas for Doggy Style. I don't know what's going on, but Snoop is my homeboy. Yes, he wrote on This DJ and wrote Do You See. Other than that, my album was written by me. DJ Stewart is responsible for me making history of Def Jam. Indo Smoke was the song that got me signed, and Regulate was my first single written by me and produced by me. Much love to Snoop, much love to Def Jam, and he's plugging the G Funk shop. So
I
restock at
mean,
midnight.
I'm,
Shout out to the Breakfast Club.
I mean, a couple things. Like Snoop didn't say anything wrong. Snoop said his pen had something to do with Regulate, the album. It did. He wrote the second single, apparently, this DJ. And I mean, and it's obviously love there, Mike. When you're listening to Murder Was the Case, the song, that's Indo Smoke by Warren G playing in the background.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, 213 is 213. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all had something to do with each person getting to the level that they got to. Clearly, Snoop was the star, right? And I can now hear, Snoop's pen work on this DJ. Like, that does sound like
Yeah.
him.
It's kind of funny when you listen to the sound. Yeah, that sounds like Snoop when you listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah, that
This
song was dope.
DJ be Warren G. Yeah.
Better yet, Regulate, Conversate. Yeah, I can hear it now.
Yeah, you can
Because I
hear it
don't
now
like to
when
dream
you're like, yeah.
about getting paid. Play balls in the hall. A CIS, a Snoop Dogg, little brother, pound third. And yeah, I can hear it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that is, man, I think we all would love an insight on who did what in those Chronic sessions, because I think that's where a lot of things are convoluted. I've heard Daz say that he, made a lot of the beats on Doggy Style, but
I can hear that.
I've heard Snoop say, yeah, Daz made the beats, but Dre produced the album. And I don't think in a lot of hip hop tenses people really understand what all that means. But yeah, I think back then what they did at Death Row, that was a team effort. That was a collective. It's showcased definitely on All Eyes on Me too, where when Pac got freed, it was all hands on deck and people were giving Pac their songs. Like, and Pac was
Here
coming
you
through with
go.
the verses. So, I mean, because what? The record with Redman and Method Man, Mom made up, that was the Dog Pound record, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was Corrupt and Daz record. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Dog Pound record. I feel like California Love was a Dre record. That was supposed to be on Dre's next solo album that never happened on Death Row. Have you heard the one that was just with Dre alone?
I heard it a long time ago. It's been a minute.
It definitely needed Pac on it. So it wouldn't have been what it was with two Dre verses. So that worked out for the best, I think. But yeah, All Eyes on Me was indicative of what they were doing back then. It was just a lot more blaring because Pac wasn't really a part of their nucleus at the time. He was kind of an outsider. So it was like you could see how they were working, with how that project came together. So yeah, Warren G. I always thought it was odd that Warren G was on Def Jam and not Death Row, and I'm glad Snoop explained that part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, also, too, if I'm not mistaken, Daz did a lot of the beat work on All Eyes on Me, too. So, I mean, he's important, man.
Daz did a lot of All Eyes on Me. I think it was Quick that did a lot of mixing and mastering on there, too. A lot of engineering, excuse me. So
And Dog Food, Mike. Dog Food's a great album, and the production on there is ridiculous.
one thing I will say, man, I hate that when we talk about Death Row Records, we always get caught up in the whole East Coast, West Coast thing. And I guess it's hard not to, but I would like to see a documentary on Death Row where they focused on the music aspect of it. Who was doing what, not talking about any of that gang shit, none of the violence, all that. Like, because the music is what made Death Row really stick like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't just fall in love with, just the attitude of it or the image of it.
No, the music was there,
hard.
Mike. The Murder Was the Case soundtrack was fire.
The music was fire. I would love for there to be like a documentary where they just focused on that and none of the other shit, because there's so much stuff that we're missing as far as like what we know of how these things came together, because we're always talking about the other shit, you know?
No, like specifically like the Chronic, Doggy Style, All Eyes on Me, Dog Food,
Yeah.
like those sessions and what went on in those rooms and building those things out, and even Warren G's album, which was around the same time. Like, yeah, all of that.
Like
Mash all that up.
we've heard like stories a million times over about so many records and how they came together, even like Biggie, Juicy, and all that stuff. We never hear how like, you know, What's My Name came together for Snoop, or you know what I'm saying? Like we never hear how these things came together sonically,
No,
and
it's like
it's
some urban
unfortunate.
legend.
You know, and all of these people are living to be able to tell it too. And, you know, I just hope that before, you know, we reach that point, we do get some of those insides for these classic records and like Little Ghetto Boy and stuff like that. Like, I would love to hear how those records came together.
Yeah, like I think, I mean, there are some stories like, you know, the day the niggas took over was obviously like influenced. Sorry, my bad. Was obviously influenced by like the riot situation, and I
Right.
think they was actually in the studio recording when that like happened, and it's like, so there are moments like that where it's like, well, it's easy to contextualize, but it's like, no, it would be nice to know, it's like, you know, how these nuts came to be. You know what I'm saying?
And how the beat came together. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
like who did that beat? Was that Dre by himself? Like who worked on that? Did Warren G help out with that? Did Daz help out with that? Because they're all around. They're all in the room.
Yeah. Like, how? Yeah, what happened when these things came together?
Yeah.
You know,
Did
I
Dre,
love those
did,
stories.
did Dre leave a beat sometimes and Warren G finish it or Daz finish it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or they played with something. Did Dre come back in like Snoop said he did on Doggy Style? Like what happened?
You know, we posted I guess it was somewhat of a debate on the YouTube channel, and people, you know, were going back and forth with it. It was the T.I. song, What You Know, and Ludacris' Southern Hospitality. And I guess we could talk about that before we get out. But what made me think about that is I've never heard the story of how the Neptunes and Ludacris got together for Southern Hospitality at that time. Like, you always hear a lot of these stories about how people who were so popular actually got together in their seminal record. But I've never heard the Southern Hospitality story, ever. But
No, you're right. You don't hear a lot of stories about Luda's material in general.
period. What song
I've
do you
heard
think
about
is
Fat
better?
Rabbit. Fat Rabbit's the only one I've really heard.
Ah, yeah, that's important too. What song do you think is better, Southern Hospitality or T.I.'s What You Know? Well, I think you're gonna go What You Know. I don't know, man. I'm DeCarlo says Southern Hospitality. I'm
No.
torn. I think it's both of their best songs, honestly. Do you think Southern Hospitality is Luda's best song?
Arguably, yes.
And you think What You Know is T.I.'s best song?
I'm trying to think if Luda has a song better than Southern Hospitality. That was what I was thinking. I know What You Know is Tip's best song.
We need
Yeah, I
to
think-
do a mock versus for T.I., man. Who should we have him against? Wayne or something?
Should do him against Wayne. Wayne or Game.
Let me get T.I. You want Wayne or Game?
I prefer Game.
Okay. Yeah, because the Wayne fans are going to kill you if you don't pick the right records.
And there's like 97 of them to choose from.
There's hundreds of them to
So-
choose from.
No, I was just thinking about how much work I would have to do, like listening wise, and how much
Yeah.
Wayne I was about to have to listen to.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
Yeah. Nah,
no. And they're just going to murder me. And also, too, I kind of want to do Game to kind of give him some flowers because he doesn't get enough as an MC. Some of that is self-inflicted, but
Speaking of giving flowers, and I know I said we were about to get out of here, man. I want to give flowers to Pastor Troy, man. Like, I think that, and you know, for people who aren't in Atlanta and who don't really know the scene like that and just know what you see, you know, from the outside in, a lot of people might not be familiar with Pastor Troy like that and like where he stood in Atlanta as a solo artist. You know, even though he's from Augusta, you know, he made his name here in Atlanta, and when they mention the Kings of Atlanta and all that stuff, his name always gets left out. But I will say this, and I read an article that he was talking about this a few years back because I think Ti posted a picture of him, Jeezy, and Luda, and was like, nothing moves in the city without these three kings, yada yada, something like that. And it's very interesting the fact that when
Fascinating.
Pastor Troy was out here really popping in Atlanta in about what that was '99 with No More Playing GA and yeah, and I Declare War, the album. All of these guys, before they became who they were on a crossover national level, they all needed Pastor Troy on their debuts to make a mark in the city. He was on Jeezy's first, or what was it, sophomore effort. He was on T.I.'s I'm Serious remix. He was on Luda's Independent Incognito.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he was a big staple on Lil Jon's shit before Lil Jon crossed over and went national. Anybody who was doing anything on a local level, you needed Pastor Troy on your record. And I never understood why once people went major, because Pastor Troy ended up signing Universal. I never understood why when people went major, they never really worked with Troy again. Whatever. I don't know what that is, but it's a shame that he's not mentioned more. And I know when I first heard Jeezy, I felt like, yo, he didn't he take Pastor Troy's flow from Are We Cutting? Took like his whole style, and no one said anything. Even the whole ad lib, that whole Friday night,
balling home.
Yeah, that's like, and it's so odd. It's like, I mean, no disrespect to Jeezy or whatever, but it's like, are we gonna act like that didn't happen? So I want to give Pastor Troy his flowers too, man. Like your impact, it's real. A lot of people wouldn't have made it in the city to the point that they made it without, the collaboration that they had with you. And I don't understand why he don't get more props from not even just the local level, but the guys who made it on a whole nother level. Like you always see people seem to reach back, but I don't know. I don't know why that works in that way. But yeah, man, I wasn't, and that's funny because even back then I was on my Outkast shit. I wasn't even a big Troy fan like that. But I saw how big of an impact that he had on the city and the people in the city and how everybody basically had to work with him to get to that next level. And you got to give credit where credit's due. You got to give props where props is due, man. You're a straight up legend. And I don't understand why, it's not said more. But yeah, I want to give a person like Pastor Troy his props and his flowers for what he's done for the Atlanta rap scene.
I was in Greensboro when No More Playing GA dropped.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever think that I've heard a rap song in my life that was more likely to incite a riot on any dance floor or any club that I've ever been in like that record. It was that big. I don't know. I mean, and you're speaking to what's going on in Atlanta. No. It was that big up in Carolina, up in Greensboro too. So he had it like that. I think it's just really sad when you have artists who, will do anything to get in the game and kind of forget who helped them along the way, because it costs you not too much of nothing at all to get that man a verse on your project,
Yeah. I mean, he did it for you. I mean, I get it. You paid him, whatever, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? It was never a favor, but at the end of the day, Troy
wasn't out here charging niggas heavy like that.
He didn't have to work with anybody. He was popping by himself. Like, he didn't need a cosign to get where he was. One thing I will say, he did kind of piggyback off of that whole, Master P thing. He used that as a launcher pad, but once he got to where he got to, that was off of Troy work. Not off of the fact that somebody co-signed.
He was really upset that P didn't want to sign him. He loved Master P. He was
really upset about it. It's just a repeat of the KRS, Marley Marl and Mr. Magic story, basically. You know what I'm saying? It's an updated version of that. So, no, ain't nothing wrong with that. That's hip-hop.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? He made it on his own, but the fact that that you obviously needed him at a certain point, but once you get to where you're getting, it's like, who are you again? Not saying it's like that, but that's what it seems like. You know what I'm saying? Because
Nah, and Troy's a good dude. I've had a couple of run-ins with Troy probably about 8, 9 years ago now. But every time, like I seem like, he's the type of person that it's like when people rolled up on him, like he sit, talk with you, chop it up with your regular dude, be around in Atlanta at all the spots and stuff. Like solid dude.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, y'all have a great weekend. I don't want to stop the show abruptly like that, but we covered so much. I know we could just keep going on, and we got
Right.
people continuously coming in the room, man. That LL and Jay-Z versus was surprising, man. Good
No, I
stuff.
told you, Mike, when I lined up L's iconic songs, I'm like, oh, that's a problem for everybody. We're going to have to call Tupac. We're going to have to call Pac and Big.
We gotta call Tupac. Maybe next time, but
Call
yeah, next
Tupac.
time we're
We
gonna
gotta
do. Let's do T.I. and Game. I think that'd be a good one.
Because here's what I mean about iconic. It's like, no, I Get Around is more than a single. That's iconic. Keep Your Head Up is iconic. Dear Mama's iconic. I Ain't Mad at You is iconic. Keep Your Head Up. I mean, not Keep Your Head Up. California Love's iconic. How Do You Want It is probably kind of like lounging, like close, almost there.
Right.
Like, so he would probably the best guy, like songwriter wise, Mike. Him and L and Pac have made the songs that are like just iconic singles, like
Yeah.
iconic. Yeah.